Wheelchair dating demystified. If you're constricted to a wheelchair, you know all about the misconceptions people have about your assistance device. There are assumptions that you can't enjoy life the same way others can, or that you're vastly limited in movement. You know that most misconceptions aren't true. You know that you're just as capable of living your life to the fullest as anyone else is. You want to find someone who can see that and see past the wheelchair. You're not alone. There are others out there who feel exactly the same. They are smart, strong, capable human beings who are dismissed because of a device they need to move around. If you're not someone in a wheelchair, you need to pay attention. We're going to make wheelchair dating demystified. Let's look at some of the most common misconceptions about people who are wheelchair dating. People who are in a wheelchair can't have adult fun. People who are in a wheelchair require you to do a lot more work. People in a wheelchair are codependent. If you believe any of the above statements, you're beyond wrong. Wheelchair users often express having very active and healthy sex lives. Yes, there may be certain positions or activities that are off the table for wheelchair dating, but that doesn't mean everything is. You should never assume anything about an individual in a wheelchair. When it comes to the extra work, don't assign yourself anything. Most wheelchair users are comfortable with their own restrictions. You won't have to do any work. All you have to do is be considerate, and if you're not capable of that, you're not capable of dating at all. When it comes to wheelchair dating, your date does not want you to push their chair. Once the relationship is built up, you may want to, but you need to ask first. That leads us into that third point. Most wheelchair users are fiercely independent. This comes from a wheelchair user herself. This is because they do not want their restrictions to limit them in their personal lives. Instead, they rise above it and learn to use it the best they can. You will not need to care for someone if you're wheelchair dating. Again, you need only to be considerate. Now, consideration may also include factoring the wheelchair into any dates you're planning. You'll call ahead to restaurants and make sure that the doors are wide enough and the facilities accessible. If you're taking public transportation or a taxi cab, you're going to want to make sure that they are going to be accessible for your date. But this isn't really a lot of extra work. This is just assurance that your wheelchair dating experience will be enjoyable for both of you. The most important thing you need to remember is that dating someone in a wheelchair is really no different. Everyone is looking for someone who shares similar interests and goals. Everyone is looking to be loved and accepted. Whether or not everyone can walk on their own without assistance shouldn't matter when it comes to finding love. Brought to you by DisabledDatingClub.com. Established since 2004. Sign up today.